Welcome to Trending Unpacked, the show where we explore the stories behind today's biggest cultural shifts and internet conversations. Today, we're embarking on a journey into the remarkable career of a name that has, well, pretty quickly become synonymous with one of Hollywood's most surprising and thrilling career turns, Zach Cregger. From his hilarious beginnings in cult sketch comedy, Cregger has made an incredible, almost seismic pivot to becoming a celebrated horror auteur, captivating audiences and critics alike with his unique vision. The buzz around his next major project, Weapons, slated for 2025, isn't just a ripple, it's a wave, really, a testament to just how much influence he's rapidly gaining in a genre he seemed, well, almost destined to dominate. So what does this all mean for creative bravery and, the future of film?
Yeah, what's truly fascinating here isn't just Cregger's individual journey, which is, I mean, compelling enough on its own right.
Yeah.
But it's also what his trajectory signals for creative industries as a whole. His shift from the absurd to the terrifying offers a really compelling case study for both established artists, maybe grappling with their identity and, aspiring creators wondering about the unexpected paths creativity can take. It fundamentally challenges the very notion of being pigeonholed by your early successes or perceived genre. It suggests that genuine, adaptable talent can truly thrive across vastly different landscapes, often with surprising and powerful results that, redefine categories entirely.
Absolutely, and that's precisely what makes his story so incredibly compelling to me. It's not just a personal success story, it feels like a genuine blueprint for creative bravery in an industry often resistant to change. So let's go all the way back. Let's start at the beginning of Cregger's journey, which for many of us began in a completely different world from the chilling suspense he's known for today. Zach Cregger first burst onto the scene as a founding member of the sketch comedy group, the Whitest Kids U Know. Now, if you were tuned into IFC between, 2007 and 2011, you probably couldn't miss them. They weren't just another comedy troupe. They carved out a very unique, indelible niche for themselves, quickly building up a dedicated, almost rabid cult following. They had this brand of often absurd, sometimes shockingly dark, and always subversive humor.
Oh, yeah, definitely subversive.
Yeah.
They weren't afraid to push boundaries.
Exactly. They weren't afraid to be deliberately uncomfortable, and they had this distinct comedic voice that, once you heard it, was instantly recognizable. I remember sketches like Hot Dog, where the escalating absurdity just kept you guessing, or Slow Jerk, which was pure, unadulterated comedic timing. When you think about that kind of sketch comedy, it requires a precision, a sharpness, an understanding of audience psychology that perhaps isn't immediately obvious when you're just laughing, but which I believe was absolutely crucial in honing skills that would later shine in his, genre-bending work.
Indeed. And that foundation laid during the Whitest Kids You Know era is not just relevant, it's intrinsically linked to his later success, maybe more so than one might initially perceive. Sketch comedy, at its core, demands a meticulous, almost surgical understanding of timing. Think of it, a punchline, a visual gag, a narrative twist within like a 3-minute segment, all depend on precise delivery and rhythm to land effectively.
Right, that precision.
And this translates almost perfectly to horror, where the timing of a jump scare, the slow, agonizing build of dread, or the sudden, shocking reveal of a terrifying truth are paramount for maximum impact. Plus, their brand of subversive humor involved expertly playing with audience expectations.
Totally, setting you up just to knock you down.
Exactly. They'd set up a familiar scenario, a comfortable premise, only to completely turn it on its head, often with a shocking or unexpected twist. This is a critical skill for horror, which thrives on subverting tropes and creating unexpected tension, precisely by playing with what the audience thinks is going to happen. You learn to anticipate how an audience will react, what they're expecting, and then you strategically defy that expectation, whether it's for a laugh or, well, for a scream.
That's a brilliant connection. It's like they were unknowingly training for horror all those years, mastering the art of emotional manipulation. And Cregger didn't just stick to sketch comedy. He was clearly hungry for more. He started expanding his horizons, right? Venturing into other forms of film and television, kind of testing the waters. His early film project was Miss March in 2009, which he co-directed with his Whitest Kids You Know cohort, Trevor Moore.
Right, with more.
Now, while it was a distinctly different comedic beast from their sketch show, a raunchy road trip comedy, it was a significant step into feature-length narrative filmmaking for him. It forced him to think about story arcs, character development over, 90 minutes, and sustained pacing, skills that are crucial regardless of genre. And beyond directing, he also took on acting roles in television shows, like the TBS comedy Wrecked and the NBC sitcom About a Boy. These weren't necessarily horror or even thrillers, but they absolutely show him consistently present in the industry, exploring different facets of storytelling, not just staying comfortably within the sketch comedy box.
Yeah, and if we connect this to the bigger picture, these early roles were far from just like passive, isolated projects. They were crucial groundwork, a vital apprenticeship in the multifaceted world of cinematic production. They demonstrate Cregger's consistent, deliberate engagement with the craft of storytelling across a variety of formats and scales. Whether he was co-directing a comedic feature, deeply involved in the script and visual language, or taking on an acting role in a sitcom, understanding the rhythms of network television and broad appeal, he is continuously immersed in the mechanics of narrative.
Learning the ropes from different angles.
Exactly. He was learning about character development, understanding audience engagement from both sides of the camera, and navigating the practical challenges of production. For instance, in Wrecked, that comedic take on Lost, Cregger was immersed in the structure of serialized narrative, understanding how to build character arcs and mysteries that unfold over multiple episodes, a skill that subtly underpins Barbarian's masterful unfolding mysteries. And his time on About a Boy, a mainstream network sitcom, offered invaluable lessons in crafting broadly appealing humor and connecting with a wider demographic. This foundational experience, often behind the scenes or in supporting capacities, would have provided invaluable insights into the multifaceted demands of film production long before his breakout moment as a celebrated horror director. It shows a deep dedication to the craft that often goes unnoticed until a major success brings it into the spotlight.
And what a breakout moment it was. Okay, here's where it gets really interesting. The Game Changer, the film that truly blasted Zach Cregger onto the map as a formidable filmmaker, was Barbarian in 2022. I remember the buzz around that film. It wasn't just a whisper, it was a roar. It was everywhere. Word of mouth spread like wildfire after early screenings. And not just from a critical perspective, but financially, it was an absolute phenomenon. It grossed over $45 million worldwide on a modest budget of just $4 million.
Which is insane.
It really is. That's an incredible, almost unheard of return on investment, signaling not just critical acclaim, but massive, undeniable audience appeal. It proved that original ideas, even in horror, could be box office gold.
Yeah, the financial success of Barbarian can't be overstated as a critical indicator for Hollywood. It wasn't merely a niche hit or a critical darling. It demonstrated a robust return on investment that signaled clearly to the industry that original, independent horror with a strong concept and execution can achieve significant commercial success. This resonated deeply with audiences, not just in its impressive box office performance, but also in its viral attention. The film gained immense traction for its unexpected twists and tension building, which became the talking point across social media, film forums, and among moviegoers. People were genuinely surprised by its narrative structure, his willingness to defy expectations.
You just had to talk about it afterwards.
Exactly. Critics, in turn, were effusive, specifically lauding Cregger's originality and mastery of horror tone. They recognized his sophisticated ability to craft a narrative that defied conventional horror tropes, keeping viewers on edge and constantly guessing, building a deep psychological dread rather than just relying on cheap scares. For instance, one critic highlighted how Cregger expertly juggled multiple narrative threads, shifting perspectives and subverting expectations at every turn. This combination of widespread critical praise and fervent audience engagement directly led to the film generating significant cultural buzz, proving its widespread impact. It wasn't just a movie you watched, it was an event you discussed, dissected, and debated.
It certainly was. I swear, after that first major twist hit, I actually gasped it out loud. My partner next to me jumped too. It was incredible to watch everyone's reaction in the theater, that collective unease, and then the shocked laughter as we tried to process what we'd just seen. It was something else. And that brings us to the next chapter, one that everyone in the horror community and beyond is buzzing about: the anticipation for Weapons, slated for 2025. This isn't just another project in a long line. It feels like a significant escalation for Cregger, a true cementing of his newfound status. The film is being produced by New Line Cinema, a major player in the industry, right?
Huge player, especially in horror.
Yeah. And it boasts a truly notable cast, including seasoned talents like Josh Brolin and Julie Garner. That alone tells you the industry confidence in his vision and commercial viability has absolutely skyrocketed. And the description we have, while tantalizingly sparse, is incredibly intriguing. Interrelated stories with a chilling theme. The fact that details are being kept under wraps only fuels public anticipation and speculation, creating an almost mythical quality around the project, building an aura of mystery that almost rivals Barbarian's initial secrecy.
Well, this raises a truly important question, doesn't it? How does a filmmaker go from a cult comedy group, primarily known for irreverent sketches, to having a major studio like New Line Cinema backing their next project with such a high-profile, A-list cast? The buzz around Weapons isn't just hype. It solidifies Cregger's position as a filmmaker to watch because it indicates a sustained interest in his unique approach to storytelling. It suggests that Barbarian was no mere fluke, no one-hit wonder scenario. The industry is clearly betting big on his ability to replicate and perhaps even exceed the success of Barbarian. And the very limited information provided actually works powerfully in his favor, generating a potent mystique.
It really does.
It signifies a clear stamp of approval from the mainstream, suggesting that his distinctive boundary-pushing voice is not only recognized, but actively sought after and invested in, marking a significant and confident step up in his career trajectory. This isn't just about his talent. It's about the industry's recognition of his commercial appeal and his unique ability to connect with a broad audience through unconventional means.
You know, that controlled scarcity of information just amps up the mystery, doesn't it? It makes us all lean in a little closer, desperate for any crumb of detail, which, ironically, is a skill Cregger absolutely refined in comedy. It actually reminds me of this fascinating phenomenon we've been seeing more and more recently, what I've started calling the comedian to horror pipeline.
Yeah.
It feels like a familiar path now, doesn't it? Zach Cregger's transition, as you mentioned earlier, very much mirrors Jordan Peele's celebrated path from comedy to horror success.
Oh, absolutely. The Peele comparison is unavoidable.
Right. It truly makes you wonder what it is about a comedic background that lends itself so incredibly well to crafting truly terrifying, unsettling stories. Is it just a coincidence, or is there something deeper at play?
Well, what's truly fascinating here is that the connection isn't coincidental in the slightest. It's rooted in fundamental narrative mechanics and a shared understanding of audience psychology. Both genres, at their core, rely heavily on precise timing, the element of surprise, and crucially, the art of subverting expectations. In comedy, a meticulously crafted setup leads to an unexpected punchline designed to elicit laughter. In horror, a carefully constructed setup leads to an unexpected reveal, a jump scare, or a creeping realization designed to induce dread.
Same mechanics, different outcome.
Pretty much. The rhythmic precision required to land a joke, to build up to that comedic release, is remarkably similar to the precision needed to build and then release tension effectively in horror. A comedian learns to read an audience with incredible acuity, understand their comfort zones, and then deliberately push or twist those boundaries. They establish a pattern, then break it. This ability to manipulate audience emotions, to set up an expectation, and then deftly pull the rug out from under them, whether for a guffaw or a gasp, is a powerful tool. A background in comedy, therefore, provides a unique lens for building tension and delivering shocks, often by playing directly with those audience comfort zones. You establish a sense of normalcy, maybe even a moment of levity, only to shatter it with something truly unsettling, which is a masterclass in emotional control and narrative misdirection. Think of other comedians like Bobcat Goldthwait, who transitioned to directing dark, unsettling films like God Bless America or Willow Creek. It's a recurring pattern for a reason.
It's almost like they've spent years practicing how to control an audience's emotional state, just with a dramatically different end goal in mind. That's a powerful insight. And speaking of playing with expectations, let's get into the weapons conundrum. The fan speculation and theory swirling online. Because the description is so wonderfully vague, interrelated stories with the chilling theme, online communities are having an absolute field day trying to decode it. What are some of the most popular, intriguing theories emerging from these digital discussions on Reddit, film, Twitter, and other forums?
No, it's a classic case of limited information fueling boundless imagination, and Cregger is a master of provoking that. Some fans are intensely speculating that weapons will delve deeply into contemporary anxieties, exploring themes like the pervasive influence of technology on our lives, maybe even the insidious nature of surveillance, and its ethical implications in an increasingly connected world. Imagine a scenario where everyday devices become the instruments of terror, or where privacy is eroded to chilling effect.
It's like a tech horror thing.
Sort of, yeah. Others believe it might tackle broader societal violence, given the film's title, suggesting a deeper commentary on the human condition, the hidden dangers within our communities, or even the psychological impact of collective trauma. The phrase, interrelated stories, is absolutely key here. It immediately suggests a narrative structure that can accommodate a multitude of broad, contemporary themes without being confined to a single linear plot. This anthology-like format allows for incredibly diverse interpretations and encourages a deeper intellectual engagement from the audience, fostering a rich environment for these theories to develop and evolve.
Right. It gives him a lot of room to play.
Exactly. And when you recall Barbarian's unexpected social commentary, especially how it subtly wove in themes of economic inequality, generational trauma, and male aggression beneath its horror exterior, It's not a stretch to see why fans are predicting Weapons might continue this tradition of thought-provoking, socially relevant horror. One popular theory even suggests a Black Mirror-esque anthology, but with a more overt horror bent, connecting different characters or events through a single terrifying concept.
That makes perfect sense. Cregger has already shown he's not afraid to layer sharp social commentary into his scares, making you think while you're jumping out of your seat. And it's not just about what Weapons will be about, it's about how these online communities have truly embraced his work, transforming him into a genuine genre sensation. We're talking about platforms like Reddit, Film Twitter, and YouTube film analysis channels that have become absolutely central to amplifying Cregger's work and rapidly building his fan base. It's where you see incredibly detailed breakdowns of Barbarian's twists and turns, where fans dissect every frame, discussing potential hidden meanings, plot holes, and directorial choices. This kind of deep, communal engagement really fosters a strong, almost familial connection between the creator and their audience, creating a space for shared obsession.
Oh, absolutely. These platforms are incredibly powerful incubators for burgeoning cult followings, and Cregger's work is tailor-made for them. They provide spaces for truly granular discussions, where enthusiasts can collectively analyze narrative choices, directorial techniques, thematic underpinnings, and even speculate on the subtle influences in his work. This level of engagement goes far beyond casual viewing. It transforms film consumption into an interactive communal experience where theories are born, debated, and refined. And what's particularly telling, and a true marker of critical respect, is the comparisons being drawn within these forums.
Who are they comparing him to?
Well, fans frequently place Cregger alongside other rising auteurs in the horror genre, such as Robert Eggers, The Witch, The Lighthouse,
Yeah, intense stuff.
and Ari Aster, the director behind Hereditary and Midsommar. These are filmmakers renowned for their elevated, often unsettling and intellectually stimulating horror that prioritizes atmosphere and psychological impact. These comparisons are highly significant because they highlight the critical regard Cregger is gaining within these communities. It suggests he's perceived as making a similar caliber of thought-provoking, psychologically complex horror that transcends mere jump scares. It indicates that his work is not just entertaining, but also artistically significant, positioning him as a leading voice in a new wave of horror cinema.
That's a high bar indeed, comparing him to Eggers and Astor, which speaks volumes about the impact he's already had in such a short time. So let's shift our perspective now and look at the broader implications of Cregger's journey. What does his meteoric rise from sketch comedy performer to a celebrated horror auteur tell us about creative reinvention in Hollywood? Is this just a unique case, a fluke of exceptional talent and timing, or is it a blueprint for how other artists can navigate and thrive in the industry today, defying conventional career paths?
Well, Cregger's story is undoubtedly a compelling example of creative reinvention, and it absolutely offers valuable lessons not just for Hollywood executives, but for artists across all disciplines. He vividly exemplifies the potential for creators to successfully pivot between seemingly disparate genres, defying the often rigid pigeonholing that can occur in the industry. It requires immense courage and a truly clear, unwavering artistic vision to make such a radical shift, especially after establishing a reputation, a brand, in a completely different field.
It takes guts, right, to potentially alienate your old audience.
Exactly. Many artists might feel immense pressure to stick to what they're known for, to turn out more of the same. But Cregger's willingness to explore his genuine artistic interests, even if it meant a dramatic change in direction, and a risk of alienating his established fan base, has paid off spectacularly. His success sends a powerful, almost urgent message to other creators. Follow your artistic instincts, even if they lead you to unexpected and uncomfortable places, and don't be afraid to challenge conventional career paths and expectations. It suggests that authenticity, a relentless pursuit of your creative voice, and a willingness to explore new creative territories can ultimately lead to profound recognition and success that far surpasses staying in your comfort zone. It's an argument for nurturing curiosity and allowing artists the space to evolve.
It's truly inspiring, isn't it? It shows that the industry can embrace artists who refuse to be put in a box, who insist on following their muse. And this ties so perfectly into another significant trend we're seeing take hold: the ascent of indie horror, where these original, often art house adjacent films are increasingly gaining serious mainstream traction, shaking up the traditional studio model.
Precisely. Barbarian's financial success, turning that modest $4 million budget into over $45 million at the global box office, stands as a prime example of how original, independent horror can not only resonate widely, but also achieve significant commercial success, on par with or even surpassing much larger studio productions. It decisively challenges the long-held notion that horror needs massive budgets, reliance on established franchises, or constant jump scares to be profitable.
It proved you can make money with something smart and different.
Yes, and this success, this undeniable proof of concept, directly paved the way for weapons to be produced by New Line Cinema, a major studio known for iconic horror franchises like A Nightmare on Elm Street and The Conjuring. This isn't just a win for Cregger, it signifies a broader, undeniable trend where unique, artist-driven visions are being integrated into larger Hollywood structures. It fundamentally blurs the lines between indie and mainstream horror, proving that audiences are increasingly hungry for nuanced, character-driven narratives, atmospheric tension, and intelligent scares that go beyond traditional formulaic jump scares. This trend is redefining what a successful horror film looks like, emphasizing creative storytelling and thematic depth over shock value alone, showing that profitability and artistic merit are not mutually exclusive.
That shift is so incredibly exciting, moving beyond just cheap scares to something far more profound and thought-provoking. It's truly pushing the boundaries of what horror can achieve. So to bring it all together, what does this all mean for the bigger picture of filmmaking? What does Zach Cregger's journey highlight about the enduring value of risk-taking in modern cinema? And what should we, as listeners and film lovers, take away from his remarkable story?
Well, Cregger's entire career, but particularly his bold transition and the unique, unconventional elements of Barbarian, is a powerful testament to the profound rewards of taking creative chances. From the unexpected twists that characterize Barbarian's narrative, which completely upended audience expectations, to his ambitious, genre-hopping trajectory itself, every single step has involved a significant degree of calculated risk. These are precisely the kinds of risks that, when they pay off, lead to fresh, original stories that captivate audiences, push the boundaries of established genres, and ultimately leave a lasting cultural footprint.
Yeah, you need those risks to get something genuinely new.
Exactly. In an industry often accused of playing it safe with an endless stream of sequels, reboots, and established intellectual properties, Cregger stands out as a shining beacon for originality and creative courage. His journey underscores that sometimes the most unexpected choices yield the most compelling and successful outcomes. It encourages us, as film lovers, to celebrate the daring and the unconventional. It truly prompts curiosity about what other unexpected voices might emerge from seemingly disparate backgrounds and challenge our perceptions of what cinema can be, proving that true artistry can always find a new, thrilling path forward.
What an incredible trajectory to follow. Zach Cregger's career is still very much unfolding, and his future projects, especially Weapons, will undoubtedly continue to surprise and challenge our expectations. It's a powerful reminder that true artistic vision can transcend genres and defy expectations, leaving us eagerly awaiting what comes next from this uniquely talented storyteller. That wraps up our exploration for today. Thank you for joining us on this fascinating journey. Next time, we'll be unpacking the surprising controversy around Cracker Barrel's new logo. You won't want to miss it.